we are learning three important terms in thermodynamics. Our universe is divided into two. One is called system and other is the surroundings. ഏത് വസ്തുവിനെയാണോ തെർമോഡൈനാമിക്സിൽ പഠനത്തിന് വിധേയമാക്കുന്നത് അതിനെയാണ് സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സിസ്റ്റം കഴിച്ച് ബാക്കിയുള്ള ഭാഗത്തിനെ നമ്മൾ സറൗണ്ടിങ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. സിസ്റ്റത്തിനെയും സറൗണ്ടിങ്ങിനെയും വേർതിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രതലത്തിനെ ബൗണ്ടറി എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. System is that part of the universe which is under study. The remaining part of the universe, excluding the system, is called as the surrounding. The surface which separates the system and the surrounding is called the boundary. So these are the three basic terms coming in thermodynamics: system, surrounding, and boundary. Now you can see the figure. In the figure, we are having a system and then surrounding. The universe is divided into system and the surrounding. And the dotted lines, which is the surface separating the system and the surrounding, is called as the boundary. Now, matter, energy, etc. can be exchanged between the system and the surrounding. From the surrounding, it may enter the system, and from the system, it may leave to the surrounding. The boundary surface can be of four different types: real boundary, imaginary boundary, fixed boundary, and movable boundary. Suppose we are taking water in a beaker, then beaker is a real boundary. Suppose we are watching a person going in a car, then the boundary between the system and the surrounding is only an imaginary one. And if you take a bucket containing water, the water level is fixed there and it is a fixed boundary. Suppose the bucket is kept under water tap and the tap is opened, then the level of water goes on changing. That forms a moving boundary. There are three different types of systems: open system, closed system, and isolated system. An open system is one which can exchange matter as well as energy with the surrounding. So you can see the figure there. From the surrounding, matter and energy can enter the system, and from the system, matter and energy can also go out. So such a system which can exchange matter as well as energy with the surrounding is called an open system. Then we have a closed system. In a closed system, the system can exchange energy, but matter cannot be exchanged. So energy can come from surrounding to the system, and from the system, energy can go to the surrounding. But matter cannot be transferred between the system and the surrounding. Such a system is called a closed system. The third type of system is called the isolated system. And in this isolated system, no exchange can be there between the system and the surrounding. Matter can neither go into the system or from the system to the surrounding. So same is the case with energy also. So such a system is called an isolated system. A simple representation you can see here: a test tube which is not at all closed, containing any liquid or any substance, comes under open system. If the test tube is closed with a cork, it becomes a closed system. If it is kept in an insulated vessel where heat cannot be exchanged with the surrounding, it forms an isolated system. So this beaker containing water, So water inside the beaker is the system, and outside the beaker it forms the surrounding. ഇപ്പോൾ സറൗണ്ടിങ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ലോകത്ത് എവിടെയാവാം, പക്ഷെ സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ തെർമോഡൈനാമിക്സിൽ നമ്മൾ ഈ സിസ്റ്റത്തിന്റെ ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വരുന്ന ഭാഗത്തിനെ മാത്രമേ സറൗണ്ടിങ് ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ. ദിസ് ബീക്കർ ഫോംസ് ദ ബൗണ്ടറി സർഫേസ് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ സിസ്റ്റം ആൻഡ് ദ സറൗണ്ടിങ്. മേലെ വാട്ടർ ലെവൽ above that also is a boundary. This is a fixed boundary and a real boundary. Suppose I am heating this water using a burner. Energy can enter from the surrounding to the system and from the system to the surrounding. Similarly, water vapor can escape to the atmosphere. So water in a beaker constitute an open system. Now I am closing this beaker with a cover. It's a closed beaker. Now if I am heating water, of course heat may enter from the surrounding to the system, but from the system water vapors will not escape to the surrounding, and this is an example for a closed system. Now this is a insulated vessel. The walls are thermally insulated. Heat cannot go outside. Outside heat cannot go in. I am keeping this beaker inside this vessel and closing it. So from the system there cannot be exchange of heat between the system and the surrounding. Matter also cannot be exchanged. Such a type of system is called an isolated system. 100% isolated system is practically not possible. കാരണം ഹീറ്റ് ഈ കണ്ടക്ഷൻ വഴി മാത്രമല്ല, റേഡിയേഷൻ മീഡിയം ഇല്ലാതെയും ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ആവാം. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ എല്ലാ ഐസൊലേറ്റഡ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിനും ഒരു ചെറിയ സമയപരിധിക്കുള്ളിൽ മാത്രമേ പ്രവർത്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. ബിയോണ്ട് ദാറ്റ് ഹീറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ലോസ്റ്റ്. നൗ യു കൺസിഡർ എ വാട്ടർ ബോയിലർ. ഫ്രം ദ സറൗണ്ടിങ് water can flow inside the boiler. So water inside the boiler constitute the system. Now we can heat the boiler. Heat energy will enter from the surrounding to the system. The temperature of water will go on increasing. Finally it will boil and water vapors will be escaping out. Heat also can go out along with the water vapors. Heat also can be transferred, and this is an example for an open system. There can be exchange of matter as well as energy. Now you consider an iron block. This iron block constitute the system, the outside surrounding. When you heat the block, energy will be entering from the surrounding. After some time the iron block will become red hot and it gives radiations out in the form of heat. Right? Will iron escape from the system to the surrounding? No. Only heat energy can be exchanged between the system and the surrounding. And this is an example for a closed system. Then consider a good thermos flask wherein we are pouring a liquid, closing and keeping it for some time. Neither mass nor heat can go out of the system to the surrounding or from the surrounding to the system. So this constitutes an example for isolated system. A cup of hot coffee is an example for a open system. Food kept in a casserole forms an isolated system. A can of Pepsi is an example for a closed system. Human body is an open system. A Dewar flask or a thermos flask. Dewar flask is a special type of flask. Thermos flask used in chemical reactions is an example for an isolated system. A pressure cooker. It is a closed system until whistle comes. After whistling, it becomes an open system because air can escape out. Earth planet is a closed system. A gas cylinder is a closed system. A refrigerant is a closed system. You have seen today system, surrounding and boundary. System is that part of the universe which is under study. while surrounding is the part of universe excluding the system.